Well, really, when I read Christopher Hampton's play, The Talking Cure, I suddenly saw a beautiful structure, dramatic structure, that would allow me to explore the life of Freud and the birth of psychoanalysis, and of course, the beginnings of Carl Jung's own sort of offshoot of psychoanalysis. And it made me feel that I had always wanted to do something about Freud and psychoanalysis in particular. And also there was this wonderful triangle, kind of an interesting love triangle, which I call an intellectual ménage à trois, you know, between Freud and Jung, and Sabina Spielrein, who was this young Russian patient of Jung's, who then became his lover and then became a psychoanalyst herself. Really a fascinating story, very provocative, really, really rich. Well, you know, you're very interested in the first critical reactions to your film because they are genuine reactions. I mean, critics, though they're a specialized audience, they're still an audience, and they're a very articulate one. And you want to know how people are going to respond to your film and what they're going to think about it. After your movie's been out for a long time and it's been in maybe 20 or 30 countries, you're less sensitive to what a critic will say. But at the beginning, yeah, you're pretty sensitive to it.
They're not just about me, but they're set off usually by...
Lack of money is really important. I mean, people say, well, aren't you ready to retire? And I literally cannot afford to retire. So I can't even think about that. Cosmopolis. Yeah, Cosmopolis is based on a novel by Don DeLillo, who's a New York writer, very well known, and a terrific book. And once again, it just came to me out of the blue. It was a surprise, and it was brought to me by Paulo Branco, who is the Portuguese producer, who's produced about 200 movies, none of them in English. So this was sort of his first English, maybe a big budget film for him. And he just proposed it to me, really before we were shooting Dangerous Method. And 2 days after I read the book, I said, I'm in. I really want to make a movie out of this. And it was a complete surprise, you know. It stars Rob Pattinson of Twilight fame, and Paul Giamatti, and Juliette Binoche, and a lot of other really good actors. And it's about a billionaire, Wall Street billionaire, who travels across Manhattan in his limo because he wants to get a haircut. That's basically the plot.
Mr. Cronenberg, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
It.
Thank you.